Hello and welcome to Confidently Wrong, a show by regular dudes talking with confidence about content we have no right to speak about with any kind of authority, but do it anyway. I'm Wesley Nakamura, and as always, I'm joined by award-winning director Brian Redondo and Savon Jones, aka Captain Ronnie. This is episode 139, and we celebrate everyone's favorite love holiday by discussing our favorite on-screen love. I'm confident that it's going to be the best show you've ever listened to, and well, hey, if it's not, you can always ask us for a refund.
Incredible!
All right, let's try again. Hello, gentlemen. Welcome back. It's Confidently Wrong. I got me,
Hello.
Wesley, Brian, Savon.
What up?
It's good to see you all. This is take two.
This is like deja vu right now.
Yeah, haven't we been here before?
We had a technical snafu. Well, it's mostly human error. It wasn't even a technical snafu. It was just my fault. So, Sav, I'm really excited for this. But first, before we get into our show today, I saw on your Instagram that you were gallivanting in the snow, and there was like a sense of wonderment in your voice. It was just like, wow, look at this. Nature is so beautiful. And then, more crazily, because I'd never known you to be this particular type of athlete. You were skiing, or we think you were skiing. We saw your feet on skis.
I was
at least
skiing.
stationary. Okay, are you sure?
Positive. I was there.
Yeah, we didn't actually see any movement. We just saw feet and skis.
If I tried to
in this
record
Instagram
me
video.
skiing, y'all would have seen me wiping out, and then I wouldn't have shared it. So really, you wouldn't have seen anything.
Well, I also, I commented. I was like, those skis look a little short for someone of your height, and then I got no response.
That was a camera. That was an angle thing or something. The skis were huge. It was like
It was an optical illusion.
Yeah, honestly, it was.
Oh, that's what I tell my wife. Must be something about
every
how you
time.
view that.
Well,
Your glasses aren't
Well,
on.
you're married with kids, so you're doing something right.
Well, tell us,
Thank
how
goodness
did
for
you
turkey
end up?
basters.
Oh Jesus! How did you end up skiing? Because I've never heard you talk about skiing. I heard you talk about rock climbing and basketball, but never skiing.
Yes.
I think Michigan's turning you white, man.
Oh my God. So y'all will love this. So first of all, when I told this to Mike, Mike put in another group chat I'm in with our friends Alan and Evan saying Savon is out here. At first it started with rock climbing and roller skating.
Yeah,
and now you're
seriously.
skiing. He's like, Savon, what's
Reverse
next? Yeah,
gentrification.
he said, what's next? He said, next up, I told him I'm gonna be out here playing disc golf, wearing polos, froth.
You're going to join a 1776 militia. That's what's going
Oh
to
Jesus!
Hey, no, there's different brands. I like to think of it as more of like outdoorsy granola crunching rather than like,
Okay,
let's take
Birkenstocks.
rather than like, let's take our country back. Like, no, there's a vibe. Also, how I described it is that I'm in like my late game black man build, and now I'm multi-classing to have a little bit of just diversity. And, like, how you beat the game. And now it's like, okay, cool. I could try a skill tree that I normally wouldn't have. It's not my main skill tree, but it's like, we've all played Skyrim a bazillion times, right? It's like when your friend who plays like a stealth archer and beat the game says, okay, cool. Let me just do the magic quest just to mix things up and try something new. I'll always be a stealth archer at heart, but it's nice to try new storylines, new stuff.
Now he's a cleric.
Yeah, when he's doing the cleric mission. Anyways,
Well, our 3 listeners who understood that analogy, they loved you
first
for
of all,
it.
everybody and their grandma has played Skyrim.
Come on.
Right? Anyways,
Never. I've never seen it.
heathen. And
I know.
Say that out loud. But yeah, I had to go to Northern Michigan for a work conference and it was held at a ski resort called Crystal Mountain, about 4 hours north of Detroit. I went and
Crystal Mountain sounds
It's pretty
awesome.
dope.
Like He-Man.
No, it's pretty
there.
dope. But I got to meet with
It's right
other.
next to Skull Mountain.
I got to meet with other directors from programs similar to my own throughout the
Hey,
state.
that's nice.
So good networking, good conversations, good trainings I was a part of. Like the trainings were long because you do it from like 8 to 5 or 8:30 to 5. It's exhausting,
Ooh.
right? But good content, learned a lot, and I appreciate that, like the work side of the trip. But also, it was a ski resort, so in the evenings when we were done working, I was chilling. So the outdoor hot tub, I was sitting at the hot tub with my music. I had my speaker on me, playing music, chatting with random folks. They had a nice little like restaurant bar that I would have a drink, have dinner at, watch some sports games because they had the basketball games on. Some nice outdoor hiking trails that I checked out that had, art and statues. So I got to enjoy a lot of the nice facilities that the place had, but also they gave us vouchers for discounted skiing which I wasn't gonna do originally because I've never skied. But when I was at the hot tub, just chatting with random folks there on their various vacations.
Oh, this was your first time skiing ever?
Yeah, I never done it before. Period.
Oh, damn.
But or even entertained the thought of it. Never, winter sports. Period. Right. My biggest winter sport before this was just surviving. But so when I was at when I was at the hot tub one night, I'm talking to
level.
like a random like family, and they're just chatting it up. Hey, what are you here for? I'm here for a work conference. Yada yada yada. And then they said if I was gonna ski, I'm like, oh, absolutely not. It's not really my cup of tea. But they said, oh, well, you should.
Chatting up families.
They started conversation. They're just like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, I'm doing good. They just be chatting it up. They be wanting to talk. I'm just chilling.
Is that what happens in Michigan? That sounds so random. Like a family, like a group of people sees this one lone dude in the hot tub, and they're like, hey, man, want to be friends?
Literally every night I was at the hot tub, a random, like, it was so.
I feel like that happens at like ski resort kind of places.
The people were really, really friendly, especially since,
Yeah.
I'm in northern rural Michigan. Like, I'm not a dum-dum, but anyway, the people were super polite and super nice. But point is, they were saying, oh, you haven't skied? I said, no, I haven't skied. And one dude with his family was like, oh, well, our daughter, she's never skied and she's having a blast. And so like this dude's like 10-year-old kid or something is just, oh yeah, I had a really fun time. I'm like, oh, on the bunny slopes? Yeah. I'm like, it was the beginner one. I'm like, okay, I'll loosely consider it. Decided I'm not going to be outdone by someone's child.
Loosely.
And then
if the 10-year-old is having fun, I can have fun.
So then the last
too.
day, when I was checking out the hotel, I went and used the voucher, got the skis, got the equipment.
Tiny skis.
They weren't tiny skis. They were regular skis, but
they look kind of tiny.
They
look like trick skis, like you're going off of jumps and you're doing acrobatics.
I know from having to walk with those that they were not short skis because I almost tripped over myself a couple times. It was like puberty all over
Carrying your
again.
own skis is the worst part of skiing.
I'm walking with them like,
say that.
Oh my God, this is how I felt when I was 13 and had my growth spurt. I'm tripping over myself. About to fall, like I got clown shoes on.
Whose feet are these?
Right? But I ended up doing it. They say, oh, do you want to do the lessons? I'm like, I don't have time for lessons. I'm just gonna wing it.
No lesson,
just vibes. Again, this is the bunny hill, though. I don't want to act like I was on some
I don't
big
know if
mountain.
you're dumb or awesome.
Well, as I'm here uninjured, I think awesome.
I think it sounds awesome.
Yeah, I went up the little conveyor belt lift, got to the top of the hill, went down probably like 5 or 6 times, never fell, and I caught
never fell,
not once. Didn't fall once. And
you weren't trying hard enough.
What? And I caught on pretty quick. Like I was watching other folks ski. Like,
you
okay,
can't
that's
fall
what they're doing.
if you're always sitting.
Look, bruh. But I was doing the thing. Like I was going down the hill and I was
doing sledding.
I was doing the side to side, the little side to side.
Oh, you got some like carving.
Yeah, like so it's called. Yeah,
okay.
I was doing it because they had the little bunch of dots around it, and I was like, okay, I guess I'm not gonna just go straight down like a slide. I want to do a little serpentine.
It slows you down too.
Yeah,
nice.
So I did that a few times, and it was a blast. I had so much fun. I would do it again.
Did you figure out the pizza?
Yeah, no, that's what guided me. I was like, because there was a moment where I was at the top of the hill. And I shifted my weight, and gravity took over. And I'm like, oh boy. I was like, all right, remember your training, pizza. And I was like, oh,
wait, what training? You
didn't. One episode of South Park where they were skiing, and the guy says,
my goodness,
pizza and like a hot dog to either slow down or go faster. That was all I was operating on.
Really?
Hartman for the
win.
A
random South Park throwaway line from like 20 years ago. I was like, okay, I just remember hot dog pizza to slow down that.
That's fucking
the rest
hilarious.
was just vibes, a little bit what I know from skating of just staying balanced. It was fun, dude. I would do it again, 100%. I would go skiing again.
Right.
I would put effort into getting good at it. I'm glad I tried something new and I had a really fun time. And I caught on quick, which is also very validating.
I'm amazed.
Because other folks say that they failed their first time skiing. And I'm like, oh,
yeah. I've only been skiing once. I did have the lesson.
To fall. Yeah, you expect
I did have the lesson. I stayed on the bunny slope, and I think I murdered at least 4 children in multiple crashes.
With firearms? Oh, with crashes, okay.
Yeah, it was terrible.
You like skeet shooting? Like,
I mean, my picture is up at that slope and saying, like, this man cannot come back.
It was a
so
great
I'm impressed. I'm impressed, Savon.
I haven't been skiing since senior year, 2006, primarily because it's too damn cold. Like, my hands are cold, my feet are cold, my face is cold. I love the skiing part. I hate the being cold part. Haven't been back.
Well, I'm going to probably do it
Sav,
again someday.
You've told us that you've had kind of a bulky, B-A-L-K-Y.
What?
Bulky knee? A knee that's giving you a hard time. Let's say that. I'll just use a different
I
word.
had a bum knee, a bad knee.
A bum knee.
You
A
could have
bum
used
knee.
so many
Bulky-
easier words.
I know.
Isn't
bulky is hard
bulk
to say.
from baseball? Like
Also from baseball,
bulk?
but this is with a Y at the end.
I'm asking myself why right now.
Skiing is just it's hard on the knees. So if you go again, just make sure you get your strength in, to your leg muscles and back and everything. So you keep that knee safe.
I'll get my brace and kinesis.
Yeah, I don't want you to come back with a dislocated knee or something.
Noted. I'll be on the injury report.
All right.
Anyways,
let's get into the episode. Brian, did you do anything as exciting as skiing in the past 2 weeks?
I did a lot of sitting. Does that count?
Nope.
That's a winter sport for me.
Not what I'm asking for.
It's practically the same shit.
All right, sounds good. Let's get into it. So, as you guys know, Valentine's Day is coming, or maybe if you're listening to this a little bit after release, it has just passed. So we thought we'd bring a little bit of Valentine's Day spirit into Confidently Wrong. So I asked Sav a couple days ago or a few days ago, I was like, Sav, okay, let's do a starting five. And we've done plenty of starting fives in the past, like heroes and villains and things like that. But I was like, let's make it a Valentine's Day one. He was like, cool,
we want love.
All right, so
we want something you can play on Valentine's Day and get in the mood.
In the mood, or just as like a nice, loving idea, romance, whatever. And we were like, okay, starting five couples out there in the whatever universe you want in terms of. Could be just like fictional things, TVs, movies, all that good stuff, even video games if you want. And so, Sav, what do you got for us? Who's in your starting five? Lay it on us.
Yeah, so I was thinking about love and all this good stuff, and I'm thinking about paragons of love, like y'all and y'all's beautiful, healthy relationships. Friends of the show, Mike and Anna recently.
Communication is the key.
Newly married friends of the show couple, Mike and Anna. Like, there's a lot of love in the air and people around who I can learn from.
Heavy petting is the key.
And that's nice and all. But what I realized reflecting on this was all my friends are in these relationships and married and long term and all that. And I'm out here single like a dollar. And I realized, you know what? To hell with this. I'm going to lean into my ultimate love, hating.
Oh my god!
And so,
you just put on your hater pants instead.
Oh yeah,
that's not what we talked about.
Put on my hater suit. Yeah, and then I decided I'm gonna do what I want. You know what I mean? Like what? Like Wes ain't my daddy. He ain't gonna tell me what to do. So
I guess that is the benefit of being single.
Yeah, I can do what I want as I see fit. And so I decided, all these couples people be hyping up and all that. I'm about to tear it down. I'm hating. And I want y'all.
Oh, so this is anti-Valentine's Day list. I see.
My love of hate.
Okay.
And so, no particular order, but I'm about to just hate on all y'all favorite couples or people who y'all think, oh, they were so cute. Goals. Actually, no, they're not goals. So, let's just get into it. Coming out the gates hot.
Right.
Aang Katara. Whack.
What?
Who can hate on Aang and Katara? They're like 15 years old.
Whack.
Yeah, they're younger than that. It's like middle school innocent romance.
The romance itself is cute and dandy and all, but Aang was willing to let the world die because of his crush on Katara.
He saved it in the end.
Okay, trust me, I was thinking about that exact point. I'm about to shut that point. Don't have to dunk on that point. We all seen Avatar. Aang needed to control the Avatar state, learn the elements, save the world. They were saying that since episode 1. They say it every damn episode. Aang can save the world. Aang can save the world. I believe Aang can save the world. He get taught by everybody and their grandma.
Someone make a beat out of that.
Aang gonna save the world. Come on. No,
Don't say it.
But anyways, there was a point when Aang is mastering the Avatar state and he's getting trained about how to use the chakras, and he learns that in order to partially learn it, he has to release the chakra having to do with love and basically let go of his tether and attachment to Katara. And Aang just says, no, actually, I'm not about to do that. Just straight up. Ignores his teacher who's helping him master his key to winning the war and saving the world, and actually says, but there's this girl. Actually, I'm good on that. So that happens. The series goes by.
That's love.
But the series goes by. Seasons pass. Dozens of episodes pass. Fast forward, we are in the final battle. Aang is fighting Ozai, and if you recall correctly, Aang is getting worked.
Yeah. Ozai
is dog walking the Avatar. Aang is using all his power and all that, and that's fine and dandy. But Ozai is different. He's already a jerk. He's fueled by evil. He's got the comet fueling him even more. He's got his army. He's about to burn the Earth Kingdom to ash. This dude is in his villain bag. He is cooking, right? And he's beating Aang's ass. If anybody recalls correctly, Aang should have lost that fight. He only won because he was getting his ass beat so bad that he got knocked back into a rock. And the rock is what unblocked the chakra that let him use the avatar state, which then let him proceed to dog walk Ozai.
It was a rock?
It was a rock. I rewatched that fight. Aang is getting his ass beat. And
didn't he refuse to go into the avatar state in that fight or something like that?
He couldn't because the chakra was blocked. Because he refused to let go of Katara. That was the whole point. He said, nah, forget the avatar state. But he only got access to it because he got hit into a rock while actively getting his ass beat. Wes, imagine if you and Brian, imagine if y'all are fighting and Brian, you whooping Wes' ass. And then you whooping Wes' ass so bad that you knock him into something that activates him and suddenly turns him into a badass. The writers bailed Aang out like the Wall Street banks during the financial crisis. Redonkulous. So to be clear, Aang was about to the whole world was absolutely about to die if Ozai had just, gone for a different type of finishing blow. So Aang doomed the world.
Always unblock your chakras. That's the
point. Aang was willing to let all y'all die for Katara, and she would have died anyway, and he would have died and should have died. The writers just bailed him out. And then to top it all off, he's not even a good parent. And by extension, Katara's also not a good parent. The biggest thing in core for people who watched it was that all the kids who weren't Aang kids felt like, or who weren't Tenzin were like, man, this some bullshit. Hey, you was always, they just straight up say, hey, you was dad's favorite. The mama clearly didn't do enough to address it. So now you just got two older kids who are just, our dad saved the world, but kind of by coincidence because he didn't want to let go of mom. But also he ended up being a mediocre dad anyway because he had obnoxiously obvious favoritism that I also blame Katara for because she didn't do enough to curb it. Like, hey, yo, B, for how empathetic you were during the show, you don't see that your husband is ignoring your other two children? Like, what the hell is this?
People without kids always want to criticize parents.
Maybe they were busy loving on each other.
They had a non-bender child who was the eldest, who was just like, oh, he can't bend. Oh, what are we doing here? Like, what is this shit for? What? Look, at least
it was kind of neglectful.
Yeah, they had the airbending child Tenzin and the waterbending child Kaya, and then Boomy was just chopped liver. Now again, Aang.
They had a kid Kaya. I have a kid Kaya.
Don't treat her like don't treat her. Mediocre parents for a love that they were willing to doom the world over. Get them out of here. Awful couple.
All right.
I'll admit though that it was a little weird that Aang seemed much younger too than Katara. And it's like the 5th grader going for the 9th grader.
Yeah, I would have liked a few more years to pass. Like, can Aang at least start going through puberty before Katara's like, okay, I see he cute. So, all right, next one.
We're getting into some category E. All right. I have no more comments. Who's your second?
All right,
second couple.
This one's pretty straightforward.
Wait, are you just gonna hate on every single one of these, or is it like we're getting some love?
Oh my goodness!
Damn right, we hate.
This isn't Valentine's Day.
Yes, it is, because y'all need to know what love really is and what it's not. And what love is not is dooming the world for a love that you get bailed out by the writers and then still going on to be a bad parent. Get them out of here. Next up, this is pretty straightforward. Tarzan and Jane. Do I even have to explain this?
What's wrong with Tarzan?
Do I even have to explain this? Tarzan is a feral, non-verbal man who has lived in the jungle his whole life.
Everybody needs love.
He is a non-verbal jungle man.
It's an allegory.
He is a non-verbal jungle man.
He's a single bachelor in the wild.
He's a non-verbal jungle man who grew up around apes, has a bunch of unaddressed trauma because his parents were murdered by like a poacher dude. And then, so I have questions. This one, I'm less upset at Tarzan because he don't know better. But Jane, I'm like, B, what the hell is this? This man, like, there are so many questions about this entire dynamic that some of which I'm not going to open that can of worms because this is I don't know if it's family friendly, but we're not opening that can of worms. But what did she see in this stank jungle dude who can't speak
in a loincloth?
Who can speak the English equivalent of like one of Wesley's children right now, and probably the
A
younger
purity
one.
of heart. A purity of heart.
He has the linguistic skills of Kaya, your daughter.
This feels ableist.
The dude is a victim of circumstance. Like he
can learn. He's
Yeah.
learning.
All right,
Everybody
but
just
they can
teaches
learn.
them.
They don't have to be lovers. Be a teacher, not a lover. Don't be both. This man do not speak at this point.
How many
at this
times do you
point-
say that on the job?
What? Oh my God! At this point, Jane at this point really feels like a predator. At this point, that man probably barely understands concepts of consent. He done lived around apes his whole life. She just saw a jungle man with a loincloth and said, "Yeah, I can make this work."
Come on, that is true to life.
I know.
Isn't
Now, I know
it?
she was used to her posh British lifestyle, all that good stuff, but there is a middle ground. Like, if you want an outdoorsy man, marry a lumberjack or an outdoorsman, but you don't have to swing all the way to the other side of the spectrum and get Stockholmed by a damn ape man in the jungle. Like, who
But
thought that
the
this
I
was
don't know
appropriate?
who's Stockholm in this situation.
Me.
Tarzan is an athletic marvel. He can like swing through the trees. He's a great protector. He obviously cares about, his family and his people. And,
He
I
has
feel like
the
that does work
emotional
in real
intelligence
life.
of a golden retriever, which is to say pleasant, but not complex. Again,
What happens when they talk about finances?
But like who are our most sought after, I don't know, people, bachelors, it's always like the athletic, athletes,
Rugged.
movie stars. Yeah, all those people are the people that get all the
but they
women.
can at
So
least
it
string
makes
together
sense.
multiple sentences and use
I
words
don't know.
and use
Some of them.
and use words with more than 3 syllables.
Have you heard Floyd Mayweather? Barely can read.
Yeah, but at least barely. Tarzan don't even know what a damn book is. Also, at least with Mayweather, you gotta get to know him before you figure out, he can't read. Jane knew that from the beginning. She knew what she was getting into the moment she met the jungle ape man.
Hey, if I know anything about some women out there, they love a good project.
Maybe Jane just really thought I can save him.
They're trying to get
But
in low.
Ladies,
exactly.
Get the dividends.
if you meet somebody and you think, if you think you could change them, I'm not gonna tell you don't, but don't go full Tarzan level. Like, there's a difference between a house that needs like some new wallpaper and a house that you need to tear
You
down.
never go full Tarzan.
Yeah, but there's a difference between a house that needs some renovation and some new windows and a house that just needs to be structurally like, hey, this whole place isn't even compliant with the zoning and code, the laws. We gotta strip this down to just the foundation. Get them out of here. Awful love. Not a fan.
Okay.
Next.
I don't know how anybody could have this much hate for Tarzan and Jane. Like 4 people saw that movie. More people heard the song.
No, get them out of here.
Phil Collins. Shout out. Love that
Next,
guy.
we got Robb Stark from Game of Thrones and Talisa, if you even remember Talisa. And for viewers who
No,
don't
who?
Was
remember
she a
Talisa-
nurse? She was like
she was the
like
doctor.
a war nurse.
She was the doctor nurse that he met during the war who patched him up when he got hurt. And that's all cute and dandy. I'm actually not mad about the actual love they have because it seemed pretty genuine. But Rob, you knew you weren't supposed to marry her. You knew that you were promised for a political marriage. So rather than have her be like a side piece or a mistress or what literally every other monarch or really lots of regular people have been doing forever, you decide.
Oh, you really backed that up. He was like, "Oh, monarchs, yep, and then leaders, and regular
Everybody.
people."
What everybody
everybody.
been doing. Like, I'm not out here promoting cheating.
Shout out to
I'm
the
not
people
pro-
I know.
No, I'm not.
I see you.
I'm not promoting second families and all that. But like, dude, you decided to piss off.
Shout out to my uncle.
You decided to piss off your biggest political backers and military backers in a war that you started. Pissed them off by breaking what was supposed to be an alliance marriage for some people who are already shiesty, leading
But
to
to
your
the Tower fam, to the phrase or whatever, that was gonna suck.
yeah, but that's politics. And also, here's the thing. We just talked about it. Lots of people don't let their wife stop them from finding the love of their life. Like, what the hell is this? People act like, having a wife or husband stop them from finding the love of their life. People in Game of Thrones been having side pieces since before the first season. So this isn't some new novel concept. And now he decided, I'm going to be honorable in this, but not with this. And he led to his whole family getting murdered. Him, his wife,
Kinda
his
true.
mama, his army, his family all scattered across the country because he couldn't just say, hey, like, I like you, you cool, but for the sake of this war, I gotta marry your girl. But hey, we could still chill. People been doing
What about true love?
People been doing loveless marriages for eons. Eons. Again, half of Game of Thrones is a bunch of loveless marriages. And guess what? The people who want to do their thing, do it on the side. They got characters who literally been in the closet their whole life who say, yeah, I'm married, but like,
But come on, wasn't Robb Stark's and Talisa's like elopement, like the hidden marriage ceremony? Wasn't that beautiful?
It was adorable. I loved it.
And they binded their hands.
It was the dumbest shit
Anna and
ever.
I even imitated that at our own wedding.
Hey, dude,
I don't remember.
If someone
That's
said,
amazing.
Savon, you gotta marry this person.
The wizard.
If someone said, Savon, you gotta marry this person that you don't like. It's like, all right, dang, that's swag. Yeah, but it is for the greater good of everybody and saves lives. Actively saves lives in
Savon, you
war.
would never do that. You're all for yourself.
If me, yeah, but if me marrying somebody saved, like, stop a war.
What if they said,
if someone said, Savon, if you get married right now, all this person that you don't like or know very well, all the wars around the world will stop. I'm like, oof, that's whack. But like, I'll take one for the team. Because guess what?
What if you have to marry Donald Trump? They're like, oh, Savon, if you just have the political marriage with Trump
actual
himself,
wife doesn't even interact with him, like talk about it when she have to. So, like, you got to take one for the team. Marriage is just marriage is a piece of paper when it's all said and done.
Savon would marry Donald Trump.
If it meant saving all of y'all lives,
you heard it here,
if
folks.
it meant saving all of y'all ungrateful heathens' lives, yes, I would. Because guess what?
Wow.
I ain't gotta like him. I ain't gotta hang out with him. I ain't gotta hold his hand.
I'm not doing it.
I'm gonna be out doing my own thing.
He's gonna grab your man pussy. Is that all right?
I'm not doing it.
Look, it's not gonna be one of them like, hey, we're married on paper. We don't have to engage. It's like when people are separated.
No, he's gonna expect you to have his babies. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you gotta carry out the rest of the mission.
That's a whole nother thing that I have less to worry about. All that to say, Robb was dumb. He doomed his entire army and family and land because he couldn't have her be his side piece. The Red Wedding was directly his actions. The Red Wedding was dirty, shiesty, wrong.
No,
it was a direct
that's Walder Frey.
Because Robb slighted him by saying, hey, we're not doing this marriage alliance that you did political calls based off of. He reneged. He did him dirty. He lied.
That doesn't mean that everybody should have died. That was all Walder
It was
Frey.
a war, and he opened himself up to it through some dumb, easily avoidable, unforced error. It was an unforced error. Get him out of here. Cute love on paper. I wouldn't sacrifice everything I know and love for it.
All right.
Next up.
I think that's your only miss so far. I could see the first two.
Next one.
All right, let's go, Cupid.
Fast and Furious, just the whole family concept period.
It's so awesome.
No.
And it's a meme.
No.
What? Family love? Now you're hating on family love?
Damn right. Because the way they do family business is not something I get jiggy with. Here's the big reason why. Found family, a concept I deeply relate to. Family being subjective and who you decide it is, it's a tenet that I live by. I'm serious. Like, that defines a lot of like the familiar relationships I have. It's like, hey, it's just about who you know in life and not just we're blood.
Right. So then, what's the problem with?
It's what Savon's like.
Because they let anybody up, and they got people in that family who should not be in that family. If I know the Fast and I know they got like a bazillion of these movies, but anyone who's watched enough of them will know multiple characters
out of their family.
Multiple characters who are in their family or they cool with were active villains who hurt their family. People forget that Jason Statham and The Rock's characters were antagonists. They were not on the side of Vin Diesel and them. They were beefing. They weren't getting along. I think Han, who was
did they kill anybody in their family?
A bunch of the people who end up associating with them were villains at first. The Rock, Jason Statham's character. Jason Statham killed Han's character in Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. Now they end up bringing him back on some stuff.
Yeah, he's actually not dead.
They ended up retconning it. But point is, the family didn't know that until they found he was alive years later. Half the people who they associate with were villains. And look, I'm not saying you can't have a family that's open and let new people in, but I'll speak for my family. If I'm beefing with somebody and I don't get down with them, the rest of my family is unconditional. Like, oh, we don't rock with them? You don't rock with them, Savon? All right, well, we don't rock with them either. That's it.
Ooh.
That's it.
The Joneses don't F around.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts. If I say, hey, Blake, Dominique, hey, oh boy, hey, no, we don't get down with him. Oh, we don't get down with him? We don't get down with him. All right, cool. F him. I'm like, yeah, that's family. And this shit, they teaming up with former enemies and all this. And I'm like, this ain't family.
To save the world.
I've seen people
To
do
save
more.
the world?
You just
first of all,
said
they're-
everything is okay as long as you
First of
save
all, the Fast and
world,
Furious people
which they
are a bunch
do.
of like superhero mercenaries. Not even superhero. They're really just a bunch of mercenaries, heist
They're
crew.
doing criminal
Yeah,
stuff
they're not. Let's not
anyway.
pretend that they're out here doing altruistic, helping people. Half their stuff they cause more property damage than any issue they're fixing.
But they
But
still
that's
save
not.
the
But that's
world.
not my problem. My problem isn't them. It's the if I was beefing with somebody and they whooped my ass or we had all kinds of issues, I don't care what's happening next. They not about to be allowed in the family. And if my family say, hey, actually, he helped us out with letting him in, all right, cool. We can call it even. We can be like, all right, we all okay. We not fucking
Wasn't it like that? I
friends.
mean, I haven't seen the Fast and Furious, but wasn't it kind of like that? Like, they weren't necessarily like best friends.
Too many
But then they always end up at like a picnic table at the end of the
There are
movie.
too many characters who were outright antagonists who they were way too frosty with when it was all said and done. And
All
that
right.
is not how family works. Family needs to be more tribalistic. They operate more like a political entity where they're willing to let things slide for their own interests. No, I know my family. If someone would have punched me in the face and we get into a street fight, my family would never be okay with this person. Unless I give them the
Eye
green
for an
light. And
eye.
even then, they're going to say, hey, you sure? I'm like, yeah, all right, I'll take your word, but we still don't like them.
Yeah, usually in most families, the villain is already part of the family to begin with. At least in my experience.
Well, that would be a better fast villain, a villain who was already, a betrayal, but they just have villains who say, actually, we're cool now. Get it out of here.
Fuck you, sister.
Yeah, not how real families
You
work.
stole my TV time.
Exactly. Like, they're not even beefing over the stuff real families beef over internally. They just letting external beef get in. No. Nonsense. Hated. That is not how family works.
Fair. All right. 3 out of 4.
Eh.
3 out of 4. You've convinced me.
So this is the next and obvious one. Anakin and Padme. Anakin because, dude, she's out of your league. You're in a job profession that literally explicitly says you can't have these relationships, and you say
Unfair. That's an unfair provision.
Again, it's a romance that starts with a child.
that too. I'm getting to that too. There's levels to it. First of all, Anakin, your job explicitly say, hey, you can't be having a relationship. I'm not.
That's unfair,
Yeah, it's
though.
not fair, but he could have.
And wrong.
Yeah, but guess what? He could have left the order. He could have. He's not a damn hostage. He decided, nah, I want to be a Jedi and holler at this senator. And he made his choice. And then Padme.
I'm kind of okay with
and
that.
then
Yeah, I would have made the same
yeah,
choice.
yeah, I
Nice.
get it. I'm gonna say I get why he did it.
Nice.
But and I'm gonna get to why he was.
My childhood
Yeah,
crush,
but his
Natalie
dumb.
Portman.
We're gonna get to that. Padme's dumb was, he's not allowed to have this relationship with his job, and you're a senator, and you're older enough and have less traumatic childhood experiences to be able to make that distinction. Anakin gets a soft pass because he was a slave and he lost his mama. Like, I get, like, I'm not a slave who lost his mama, but I get why that would be a hard thing for somebody to get over. Like, I'm not a slave and I know my mama. We good. But, like, that would be, like, that's where my empathy for Anakin comes in, even if him as an adult that was foolish. Padme, you was a young adult when you met this youngin'. Why didn't you shut this down? Why didn't y'all draw some professional boundaries? So that alone was like the forbidden love relationship. There were mistakes on both of their ends of like, y'all know y'all shouldn't be having this workplace romance, and y'all both making a conscious decision to say, nah, we don't care. That alone, I'm like, hey, it's on some Emi Udoka type stuff. Like, hey, man, you gotta, don't, you can't be doing business where you eat at. Like, what is this? Or where you sleep? Like, what the hell is this, man? Like, Anakin, you a good looking badass Jedi. If you gonna at least break the code, don't do it for a senator that's in your nearby workplace. Like, there's an infinite number of boos he could have had. So, bam, off the bat, that relationship, it was already like started on some.
I'm not standing this relationship anyway, so I'm okay if it makes your hater list. The connection, the chemistry between them, never there. There was never any kind of actual chemistry where it felt like they actually liked each other. And I think that was, a lot of George Lucas's fault in terms of the writing. But man, what's his name? Hayden Christensen, just never made me feel any kind of.
We're not about to
believability
slander
of love
Hayden
there.
Christensen because that's not what it's about. We're slandering their love.
Awful.
So first of all, it started off on rocky terms, but here's where it really gets trash. This is
Oh,
where it
gets
starts to
worse?
become.
There's more.
Yeah, this is where it becomes Anakin's fault.
Okay.
Hey, yo, B, you didn't have to collapse the entire global universal government over this. You a Jedi, they ain't got no health care. You on Coruscant, they ain't got no doctors. Like, there was a bazillion things. He could have just came clean to the Jedi. He decided in a moment of weakness, or multiple moments of weakness, of rather than come clean to Obi-Wan in the order about, hey, I'm in love with Padme. Hey, I'm having forced visions about this woman dying and I'm stressed out. Hey, all this other stuff. Hey, I'm having a little crisis of faith with the Jedi. Although he does talk to Yoda a little bit about that, the crisis of faith with the Jedi Order. That happened. That's a thing. But rather, he had so many options he could have taken of the, man, I'm worried about my wife's health and future. And he decided, I'm going to betray the Jedi, collapse the government, become a Sith Lord,
Double down.
quadruple down, fight my master, choke my pregnant wife with the Force.
Wait, why'd he do that?
Because he was mad. Because he thought she brought she brought Obi-Wan to kill him. I'm like, no, B, you collapsing the government is why Obi-Wan came to kill you. You think Padme betrayed you? You tripping, B. You literally went and betrayed and killed all the Jedi. He went up and started killing children because in his mind, I gotta save my wife. Like, dude, it's not even that he did that, although it is. It's that he didn't even exhaust all his other options and then do that. It's not like he went to the doctor and the doctor said, I don't know, this doesn't look good. He just said, first option, betray the Jedi. People do foolish things under duress and stress, and I understand that. I've done dumb things under duress. We all have. But you can't.
Some of us forget to hit the record button.
You can't. Yeah, but you know what? You can't go to the dumbest option first. That's the real thing. It wasn't that he made a dumb decision. It's that he made the dumbest decision immediately. My son didn't weigh. This is the weighing of his options. Right? You're ready for Anakin weighing his options? When Mace Windu and Sidious are fighting for their lives, for the fate of the galaxy, and Anakin just standing there. I need him. And then when it's all said and done, she still dies.
A little racist.
Awful. Anakin fumbled they both messed up starting their relationship.
Wait.
Anakin could not have fumbled the bag harder in terms of you pick the worst, in games where there's different storylines or different endings to the story, and your ending is influenced by the decisions you made. And some games have the worst ending. He picked every option to give you the worst ending possible. Episode 3 ends with the whole Jedi being wiped out. This war being won by this evil Sith Lord who played both sides. And then
children being massacred.
Children and Jedi being massacred. The galaxy falling apart under a dictator empire. And the dude's wife still dies. And Anakin ends up harshly burned and turned into a Force abomination. That is the worst ending possible. Anakin needs to New Game Plus his prequel playthrough and make some slightly better decisions because he fumbled that bag in a way that is actually impressive.
Looking like a real well done brisket.
It takes skill to do dumb shit the way he did.
He did do it. All right, so that's our starting 5. Aang and Katara, Tarzan and Jane, Robb Stark and Talisa. I still think that one's okay. All of the Fast and Furious movies because family. I'm not sure. Savon doesn't like found family.
I like found family, but you got to have a line of what transgressions happen.
A ridiculous couple in Anakin and Padme, which was horrible from the start. So I agree with that. So not a bad list. 4 out of 5. I kind of agree with, although not at all what we talked about.
But I will say this much because I do want to share a little bit of some positivity. Because there is a love couple that I am happy for.
Please.
I love positivity.
Bring us back to Valentine's.
Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift.
What?
If you're listening to this show right now, the Super Bowl, because Super Bowl's Sunday, right? Tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow.
At that point, I'm calling it here, y'all. We're recording Saturday morning, February 10th. The Kansas City Chiefs are going to win. Patrick Mahomes is going to get his Super Bowl MVP or Finals MVP or whatever they give you in football. He's going to hoist the trophy. Taylor's going to be on stage with her beautiful 5'11", 5'10". She's really tall. Self out here.
I think they give you a Cadillac, or they used to.
Well, she's going to be out there.
I think they still do.
Travis Kelce going to come with his I hang around black people fade, get on one knee, propose, and it's going to be a beautiful thing. Taylor's going to
propose tomorrow? There's no way.
Taylor's going to tell everybody to go vote. The liberal
Joe Biden's going to come out and
shake their
bless
hand.
the ceremony.
He's going to parachute in.
Yeah, he's going to come parachuting in. Creed's Higher is going to play, and all will be right in the world.
Creed is a nice touch.
Yeah, so I want to
That's
end out with
absolutely
some
what should happen.
actual, some true love out there. Kelsey and Swift, I'm rooting for you.
Put that on your Valentine's playlist.
Yeah.
There's some
Creed.
skepticism about whether she's even going to make it because supposedly she's playing in Japan, probably as we speak, or maybe tonight. Something
Love
like
finds a way.
that. Apparently not, because you wanted Rob to sacrifice, his love for all of
Well, in
the
that
Empire.
case, Love found a way to get them killed.
All right, friends, that'll do it. Hope you enjoyed our Valentine's Day kind of episode. Hit us up on @confidently_pod on Instagram. And you can now find us on YouTube. We're at confidently
My tube?
_pod.
No, YouTube.
I don't actually know our handle on YouTube. You just search for Confidently Wrong Podcast. You can totally find us. We've been putting full recordings of our episodes, so you will see our lovely, tired, haggard faces on the YouTubes, and we post some short clips there sometimes as well. And it's also, you can listen to us as a podcast there as well if you're someone who likes listening to podcasts on YouTube, which I don't know why, but apparently people do it.
Hey,
My
I
problem
do
is
that.
you do that, but if you
always do
put
that.
on the if you put on the podcast on your phone, if you sleep your phone, it turns off. So not helpful.
No, I do it at my desk.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, friends, we're out of here. See you later.
Send
Happy
us
Valentine's.
love.
Happy Valentine's Day. Bye. Jen, I love you.